Happy Vlogmas Day 16! Oh my gosh, I have so many feelings about Rogue One. I just had to do a spoiler review, so this is gonna be it. If you haven't seen Rogue One yet, I posted a no spoiler review yesterday, so check it out if you haven't seen the movie. But if you have and you want spoilers, this is it. Because guys, I walked out of that movie and I had so many thoughts and I couldn't say them all in my video yesterday. So I wanted to talk about them today because I loved Rogue One. And honestly, having slept on it a night, I woke up loving it even more. All right, so let's get into some of the spoilers that I couldn't talk about in my no spoiler review. Let's start out with the one that we all knew was going to happen. We knew that this movie was not gonna open up with the main Star Wars theme. We all knew that wasn't going to happen, yet still, when that movie opened, I wanted it, and I was like waiting for it, and I was like, oh yeah, wait, I already know that we're not gonna get this, but at the same time, I was like, but but you know what? It didn't bother me that much. It didn't bother me at all. I just was a little sad. But I quickly got over it because the beginning of this movie I loved so much, and I've been thinking about it all day. The whole beginning with Jyn Erso's family and her father and her and her mother are trying to run away, and she doesn't. First of all, I already said this in my no spoiler review, but the locations were just absolutely stunning. This movie was so beautiful. I could not take my eyes off of the screen. It just was gorgeous. The beautiful outdoor locations, the shots, the way everything looked and felt, it was a stunning movie, and I absolutely loved that. Honestly, I kind of wish Jyn stayed a little kid. If not a little kid, then maybe like a teenager. I think that would have been awesome to have Jyn not fully grown up, but maybe like 13, 14, 15. Wouldn't that be cool to have like a little teen girl do that role? Like, not rewrite anything else in the script, just make that character a little bit younger, like a teen. I just thought that would be so cool because that's something we haven't seen in the Star Wars universe. I mean, we had episode 1, but we're not going to talk about that. So as far as having kids in a Star Wars movie, you know, we've seen it fail in the past, but I think that if this movie was written the same way and went the same exact way, but maybe had a teen, I think that would be really interesting. Because honestly, I wanted more. I wanted to know what their life was like there. I wanted to know what her father did before all of this, which could be a whole nother movie. But I know that they had to basically cram a whole lot of information into one movie. We're so used to getting trilogies these days where every movie is so long and drawn out and just slow and boring. And what I loved about Rogue One was that we're not getting any more of it. We are getting a standalone story. They weren't drawing out parts of it to make for a trilogy. We were just getting a standalone, simple story that was so action-packed. It had characters that I loved and could connect with, and was sad to see them go. I really liked that. We're just so used to getting trilogies, and a lot of times not every single movie in the trilogy is awesome, and sometimes they have really long moments that just are so unnecessary, but they're trying to stretch for a trilogy. I may or may not be talking about The Hobbit, but that's something that I really liked. They did such a great job of making this feel like the Star Wars universe. I loved that this was more of a darker film. It was more mature. It just was such a great contrast to see, because we already have The Force Awakens. You cannot compare Rogue One with The Force Awakens. You just can't. But at the same time, you can't help but compare some of the things, like the lead characters or the flow of the story. And I loved that Rogue One was different. I loved that it was more mature and a little bit darker. Honestly, this was an awesome Star Wars movie for Star Wars fans. It's kind of the movie that everyone's been wanting, and here we go, we have it. I just cannot tell you how much I love the beginning, and I really wish that we could have seen more Forrest Whitaker. He was so great. Didn't you guys want to see how Jyn like grew up? I want to see how she learned how to fight and how she was raised by him, and there were so many questions, and I was so interested, and I was so sad that that part was so short. I could have watched a whole movie about that, to be honest. It could have just been little kid Jyn the whole time, and then they could have made another movie about getting the Death Star plans, but I loved that. I thought it was very interesting. Okay, can we just talk about Darth Vader here for a second? Oh my gosh! Wow. That's all I have to say. His entrance at the end and his fight at the end was so freaking cool. That's what I was referring to in my non-spoiler review when I said this universe has so much to play with and so many cool weapons and fighting styles. And now with today's technology, we watch Darth Vader have like the freaking coolest fight sequence. I don't know about you guys, but I was on the edge of my seat just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I don't even know what to say. Part of me wanted a little bit more Darth Vader, but at the same time, I was thinking, how cool would it be if we didn't see him the whole movie, and then we just get that like epic entrance with the big bright lights behind him, and he comes in, and oh man, it was just so awesome. That moment was incredible. It made me want more Darth Vader, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, let's just have a whole Darth Vader movie where he just goes around and fights everybody, because why not? That was awesome. One of my favorite moments for sure. I know I was sitting in the audience just geeking out so hard over that. I mean, Darth Vader is one of, if not the best villain of all time, and to have him in a 2016 movie doing amazing things with today's technology just blew my mind, and I was just, oh man, I was such a little fangirl sitting there. So my favorite people in the movie had to be Diego Luna and Donnie Yen. Oh my gosh, Donnie Yen was incredible. I could have watched an entire movie about his character. It was so fascinating. This ensemble cast was just so incredible. I just wanted more of them. They spent a large part of the movie kind of separated and fighting their own battles, and I was really hoping that, you know, the five of them could have stormed in at the end all together. We knew that they had to die, of course, which still was really heartbreaking and really sad, and I really didn't want Donnie Yen to die. I was like, but can we just like erase the history and just maybe one person can live? Little optimistic me was like, we can make that work. We won't ask questions, right? Right? No, we would ask questions. I really liked the way it played out. They didn't all end up going in together. They were all separated and kind of had their own moment. That battle at the end of the movie, oh my gosh, if you take away all of the lasers, you basically just have Saving Private Ryan in space. I mean, it was a war movie, and that's what it felt like. I loved it. I thought it was so incredible. The stakes were high. The action was so well done. I loved the fight choreography. I loved it. I loved the action and the characters, and the movie was just so much fun. All right, so the last thing we got to talk about is Princess Leia. What the actual, what? When she turned around at the end, I was like, what? They found a look-alike, and then when she spoke, I was like, oh my gosh, that's CGI. How did they do that? What is that? That's insane. I was literally sitting there shocked, so shocked, because I don't know how they did it. It was so cool. It was, I mean, they could have just had her back to us the entire time. You could have just heard her voice say, hope, and that could have been the end of the movie. But no, they went one step further, and we got actual Leia, her face. I don't know how they did that. Oh my gosh, that's some incredible CGI. I mean, how cool was that? I don't really know how to describe it. It was just the perfect prequel to A New Hope. It leads us perfectly up to the original Star Wars trilogy, and it felt like it fit. Honestly, parts of it felt like I was watching the original Star Wars trilogy. And that was really, really cool. They really knocked it out of the park with this movie, and the more I think about it and talk about it, the more I love it. I gotta go see it again. I really do. I think I'm gonna see it again and just love it even more than I already do. I'm trying to think if there's any other spoilers I wanted to talk to you guys about, and I completely blanked out because all I'm thinking about is Darth Vader throwing people around. Oh my gosh, that was just so awesome. I gotta know your guys' thoughts about this movie. Let's talk spoilers in the comments. Let me know what your favorite parts were. Maybe you didn't like some parts. I would love to hear that as well. Thank you so much for watching. Please click right here to subscribe to my channel. And I've been posting a video every single day this month for Vlogmas. So if you've missed any of that and want to catch up, click right here and you can see all the fun things I've been doing this month. May the Force be with you, and I'll see you tomorrow.